As the old generation looks at who they are handing over this world, its resources and future offspring to, they often think,
it's over. We are screwed.
but are we as the new generation really that bad? And if we are, what is the solution? When you're failing at something and you know someone who's a master at it, it only makes sense to learn from them, right? Right? Today's video is dedicated to that precisely. Learning from someone from the old generation so that we can see where our generation is missing it and of course correct it.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't know me yet, I'm Moagi, and I bring onto this channel people that I believe will educate you, encourage you, and entertain you. Today I have a very wise woman who also happens to be my mother to share a bit from her experience and the wisdom that she has managed to obtain through the years. Without wasting any more time, let's go.
Greetings to all viewers. And thanks for having me on your channel, Katlego. Viewers, what you need to know first is that Katlego is my child. And not only is she my child, she is my only daughter. I've got 3 boys and 1 girl. And what I would want to share with you on this channel today is the fact that how different we are, the old ones, the older generation, and the newer one. What happened is that with us, we were listening solely to our parents. What I can tell you is the fact is that parents are not only parents. Our parents are coaches. Our parents are mentors. Our parents are teachers. And to support that, I can say that I am the example of that. Not only myself and my other siblings. I am born into a family of 7 children. I give credit to my parents, my father and my mother. They were not graduates. Because of this, we take into consideration the years that they were born in. My father was born around 1902, and my mother was born 1929. So you can imagine that, to have a degree, for those people, it was not easy as it is for us. However, what I would like to put across to you, and all the viewers, experience is the good teacher. My parents had experienced much life than I did. And depending on the norms, on the values, on the standards, I must say that they happen to assist us, to groom us into being people who we are today. We are not only people, we are responsible people in the community, in the workplace, wherever that we go, we carry the image, we carry the integrity. Everything that we carry we owe it to our parents. When we grew up, we were taught that your family is not only those that were born with you, not only your siblings. As we grew up in our family, it was not only the children, Moagi. Everyone that would walk into our household, maybe lacking, we would accommodate them. We would take them in. And whenever it's time to go to school, what my parents would do, whenever they're buying school uniform, they'd also buy for that child whatever that we carried as a lunch box. That child would also qualify to carry whenever they buy us clothes for Christmas, because of, you must know that in those days, we used to celebrate Christmas to its fullest. Those children would also benefit. They wouldn't differentiate to say maybe we get the more expensive clothes than them. No. You know, they had the spirit sabotu, the spirit of Ubuntu. That's what, you know, our parents did to us. And coming to the feeding time, they wouldn't say that only for their children they would give the best. No, we would get, you know, the same size of pap, you know, same size of soup or moro, you know, even if that's meat. But what I need to put across is the fact that meat, you know, was not like considered to be the important thing. You know, we ate mostly the veggies and the fruits. And our parents taught us, you know, to say that now, as you are growing up, you'd be going out to meet new people. You know, they told us that whenever or wherever that we arrive, we should not segregate people. We should not have, you know, the notion of classifying people according to their income or according to where they're coming from. They taught us that every person that you come across would either be your sister or your brother. And if they are older than us, befitting to be our parents, we would also call them ma le papa. That's how we're taught. And we're also taught respect. By respect, I mean that you shouldn't only speak that you have respect. You should display respect. Whenever people see you, need to see what? Respect. You know, respect basically starts from where? From whenever you meet someone, greet them. Whether you know them or you do not know them, just greet them.
I hope you're not watching this as a young person thinking to yourself,
This is the worst.
but are rather checking yourself against what is being said and committing to improving so that the old folk can be at peace, knowing that they are leaving this world, its resources and future offspring in safe hands, yours and mine. In the meantime, however, would you please use those hands to click that subscribe button if you're finding value here?
And there's another point that is so important, that, you know, we were being, you know, reprimanded, walloped by any parent that we come across, whether they know or they do not know us. Whenever they see you that you are misbehaving, they would say, what you are doing is wrong. And they had the right to say, maybe they'll hit you and take you back to your parents if they knew your parents, and tell them that this is what we saw your child doing. And I must say that were good times. Why am I saying it's good times? Because of there were no much, you know, ill discipline that we seeing like today, whereby you see a child misbehaving, but you do not have the right, you know, to reprimand or to tell them that don't do this. Many a times whenever you walk to the bus stop, or you go to work, or you're going somewhere, during the school hours, you'll see school children roaming the streets, you know. And whenever you approach those children trying to say, what are you doing? This is a school time. They will not respect you. Instead, they will respond to you to say that, who are you to tell us? you are not our parent, you know. And in those days, you know, when I grew up, I knew that each and every parent is my parent, whether I know the parent or I do not know the parent. You know, the paining part is that the parents to those children are at work. They think that their children are at school. Meanwhile, they're not at school. You know, they form the groups. You know, in those groups, you know, I mean, if they've got all the time to themselves, they're still children. They still need to be guided. If it's the same age group, who is going to guide who? Who is going to tell someone that do not smoke? Who is going to tell someone that do not just take, let's say, alcohol, beer, and drink? I mean, no one is going to tell anyone because of they are the same age. Instead, they're going to do something that is wrong, and that is going to impact not only on their future, also on their parents.
Yeah.
As we were growing, we were taught that you need to stand up for yourself. You shouldn't be the fan of blaming other people. Say for your failures or for your shortcomings. You know, I remember my mom would always say to me that my children, as we were seated, you know, around the stove, because that's what we used to do, you know, seated around the stove, eating those meals, you know, would have put them on top of the fire. And that's where the greatest teaching came from. What they would say is that if you see someone, say, having 1,000 rent, then you ask them that I am in need of 10 rent. Then whenever they tell you that, no, they do not have it, you should not be cross with them. Because of that money, 1,000, yes, it's 1,000 rent, but it's not for you, it is theirs. They have it and they're going to use it for their own purpose. So, and our parents would tell us that, you know what, if they tell you that and they do not give you, instead of you hating them or you becoming cross with them, rather rejoice. You know why? Because of that would prompt you to want to go and work and do something so that you can also have your own 10 rent or even more. And they also told us that you shouldn't only depend on the money that, let's say, only this month's salary or wages. What you need to do, you need to know how to budget. I must tell you, they were wise, very, very wise, very wise. They knew how to save their money. You know, little as they earned, you know, because of they would do the washings, they would do the gardens. You know, they were not doing the work, kind of work that we're doing like today. Okay, few were there that were doing that, but they were able to do what? To save. So they told us that, you see, we are saving money with you. It's going to be even better because of now there are banks whereby you should take your money, put it safe, you know, and then they told us that you need to draw a budget for yourself. Yes, they did not do accounting, they did not do the BCom and all those, but they told us that you need to plan for the future. You need to use the money that you're earning, let's say for this month, for the following month, and they told us that do not finish all the money, put something for raining days. Because of this an idiom, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it in my language. It says, go fa ke go fega, wa kwatlala wa fegol. It means to give is to put, is to shelve. And when you feel hungry, you take from where you've shelved. That's what we were taught. Because of they'll tell us that even though they did not have like the modern technology, there were some millies which they would put, aside so that they would turn it into what?
Millennial.
Into millennial. So they'll tell us that you need to save for future. And they'll tell us that if you also have, one day you'll be having your own children. Those children are not yours. God has entrusted you with the lives of those children that you're bringing to this earth. Therefore, you need to take care of them. And taking care of them is not only by feeding them. It's not only by clothing them. They said, you need to, as we are doing, impart the same knowledge, impart the same wisdom to them. Have time to sit with your children. Tell your children how to survive. Tell your children to fend for themselves the right way, of course.
Yeah.
Tell your children that they need to also impart the same wisdom to their children, which would be your grandchildren, which, eventually that would be your what? Your generation. And, amongst those basics that we had, I must tell you that prayer was there, Prayer was in the middle of everything because of when we woke up, we're taught to pray. When we eat, we're taught to pray. Before we leave to go to anywhere, we're taught that we need to pray. We need to invite God to be in the forefront of us so that we shouldn't just go astray. So prayer was always there. Prayer was core before we could leave. And I want to tell you some magic words which our parents were teaching us. Whenever they give you any other thing, or someone is giving you any other thing, and they'll tell you that you need to say thank you, or to just clap your hands to show appreciation. You say, "Ke a leboga. Ke a leboga. Thank you. Thank you." It doesn't mean that like as they gave you, yes, they are compelled to give to you, maybe because of you are their child. No, you need to show appreciation. And whenever you're hurting someone, they would make you to say sorry, and a very passionate, a very ardent sorry. To say sorry, you have to say sorry. And let's say you are playing, with your mate and you happen to get hurt. They'll tell you that leave them up. If there happens to be blood that would be coming out, you would assist that your friend to clean that blood away until they are fine. Selfishness was not there. And if you needed anything, the manner in which we ask, there was no sense of ownership that or entitlement that yes, my parent must pay a school trip for me. No, we would, we would ask for that money, in a very respectful way. We would reduce ourselves to say, at school, there is a trip to go to the zoo, and they're saying they're paying, let's say, 350. If you have, may I please go with others? You see, if you have, we didn't say you must pay for me. I have to go to the zoo. No, respect was always there. Hence, wherever we are going, we are also displaying the respect. They taught us that whenever you see an elderly person standing up, somebody who is older than you are supposed, if you are seated, you are supposed to stand up, give them that seat. And if you see an elderly person, somebody who is older than you, even if you see that maybe they're still strong, you are carrying parcels, you rush to them, you offer assistance, and you take those parcels, you help a person to their destination. Unlike today, after you offered that assistance, you didn't feel compelled that you should be compensated or rewarded because of, nowadays, the kids, when after they assisted you, they'll wait to say, and you wonder why. Aren't you going to give me something to thank me? For what?
Yeah.
For what? We used to do our household chores, and after doing that, we go to play. And after playing, there would be a limited time. Then we rush home to do what? To prepare, fire to cook food. And when our parents came back from work, we rushed to assist them with their parcels, and we are so happy, we appreciate them, and we appreciate them that they're now back. And as they sit down there, we would do what? Undo their shoelace, take their, if it's they're wearing a jacket or a jersey, take it, put it safely away, and give them a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Then thereafter, as they're still waiting, because of would have cooked, that time you would have cooked, then you give them what? You dish up for everyone, then you give them food. You start, first and foremost, you start by giving your parents food. Then your other siblings, as they follow each other, you first start with the eldest, then you come down. And the meal, let's say a piece of meat for your parents, can never be the same like your eldest sibling, being it a brother or a sister. It can never. That's how it goes, there were categories. And another thing that our parents taught us is the fact that your children need to get good education so that they are able to sustain themselves in future. Coming to integrity, our parents taught us that you must never be a fan of asking unnecessarily. You mustn't be highly bent on the fact that you just go and ask. You go, you knock on your next door neighbor's door. Please give me sugar. Then You send the other child to the other neighbor. Give me salt. Then you send the third child. Please pour us mealie meal. No, no, that's not how they taught us. And then one other thing, they told us that it's not all of us that are able to sustain ourselves. Even if you can look at our fingers, they're not the same. They're not of the same size. Even human beings are like that. There are those who are less fortunate. You who is able and have, take care of those who are less fortunate, because of even the Bible says that you are blessed to become what? A blessing.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible tells us. And even God says that if you take care of the poor, He is indebted to you. So what you need to do, take care of those who are less fortunate. If you are gifted, if you've got salary, if you've got something, a wage or something, take care of them. And the secret is that whenever you give them, you should not blow a trumpet. Whenever you do your grocery, just do more for three, say 3 families, 2 to 3 families. Then as you do that, you're reducing what? Poverty, the begging on the street. You're giving other people dignity, because of every person should have what? Dignity. Do not buy people something that is rotten, that you wouldn't want to eat. Even if it's clothing, give them clothing which are neat, if they were, maybe they were worn before, wash them, iron them, give to them, with what? With dignity, because of they are also human beings that just happen to be less fortunate than you are. That is now where I arrive at something that you like to say, that judge less. Do not judge people who are who are lacking and say why they don't have. Why didn't they go to school like I did? You were fortunate. And it's God's doing that. You are where you are. It's God who placed you there. I remember my father, every year, winter time, he would go and buy us a new blanket. Each and every one of us. He would buy us a new blanket. If I say each and every one of us, I'm also counting those who were staying in our households, though they were not our blood brothers, the ones that, were less fortunate or didn't have anywhere to go, like orphans. If you can remember, in those days, there were no orphanages like now. So that's what would happen. And so if I grew up in such a family, why am I not doing it? Hence you see me doing it. And hence I see even my children doing it. And if many of us can do that, we are going to alleviate, that unnecessary poverty, the unnecessary begging. Because you can go to an extent of adopting one child, take them to a college, take them to a university, coach them, because government will take care of them. Who is government? Where is government? You need to instill in our mindset that we are government. As we are, we are government. We need to take care of those whom we are able to. And as we do that, the best lesson is that would lessen even the rate of stealing. Because of people reduce them to lesser beings, just because of their lacking. If people were not lacking, they wouldn't be stealing. Other people, get involved in other activities just to see themselves having bread, a plate of pap and morojo or something on their table. Just to see themselves being able to buy a soap for their child to be able to take a bath to go to school.
That was more than a mouthful. Unfortunately, we need to go. Thank you to my mom for all the wisdom. Let me know what you think of this. It's the first video with her. Let me know if you want more from her, as I think and I hope you will. Thanks to the venue for hosting us. It was a wonderful couple of days, a wonderful staff members. And thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope you subscribe. I hope you share this with others. I hope you leave your comment about what resonated with you the most. Until next time, bye for now.
Bye.
If you would like to be encouraged even further, click the video on your screen now for 18 minutes of empowerment.